My name's Tiffany Wondrow. Thank you for that introduction. The reason I'm up here today is I've had numerous women in this group say, how can you just stand up and talk to anybody about anything? Teach us that. And I'm like, okay, there's only so much I can teach you about confidence, but I can't make you have confidence. So that's something that you have to earn and learn and do on your own. But I think with some of these things I'm going to talk to y'all about today, it's going to make it easier. So I will let everyone know we're going to go over a little bit because when I'm done, we're going to do a quick vote on our board.
Well, actually, it's the results of
Sorry, the results. So we're letting y'all know the results of the board. So if y'all could just bear with us. I know it's a long meeting. It's our biggest meeting, so I'm going to jump in it, but just bear with us. So I'm using this thing.
Yeah, just use the arrows.
Okay.
There you go.
So when I think about public speaking, there's a big difference of standing up here and giving y'all a presentation. Those happen for me and probably most of y'all infrequently. More of what you're doing is networking, meeting people that you're trying to sell to, the people within your companies. We have a great mix in here. We have some women business owners, entrepreneurs, but we have a lot of people that are employees of other companies. We have sales women that are out giving sales pitches, but I think we're a great blend, and everything I'm going to talk about today will really apply to each one of y'all, but it's going to be how you take it back and apply it to what you do every single day. So as y'all know, I obviously know my material. I stand up and talk in front of people all day. Grocery store, my husband's like, honey, please quit talking to everybody about their problems. Because I'm a magnet. I mean, because I do smile and I make eye contact. Literally, people are like, I need to talk to you about my hernia. And I'm like, come on, tell me. We usually like lay hands and pray in an alley or something, you know, but the whole thing is you got to know your material. And part of that is you got to pick a subject you're interested in. If someone asks me to stand here and talk about, you know, digging a hole, I can talk about it, you know, but it's not going to be my subject matter, but I can fake it enough. But when you know your subject matter, it makes it more important. And that's, I really believe that Karate Kid should have been a karate chick, but, you know, Ralph Macchio did his thing. But when you're interested in what you're talking about, it makes such a big difference. And your knowledge of what you're talking about is going to be in your speech, but then you have to know so much about what you're talking about. It's not written on a cue card, it's not on your notes. You have to know what you're talking about and be able to get up and ramble like I'm doing now. So know what you're talking about, include most of it in your speech, but really you want to know so much that you're not having to read from anything. Part of what I always want is conversational language. If I'm sitting here and I'm like, Angela, hey, how you doing today? Things good, life is good, right? We're having just a conversation. If I start quoting 1912, 412 people stood up for the first time, I'm gonna lose you. So it's important to have conversational language, not do a lot of numbers and quotes and stuff like that. People just want to be talked to, even though we're not all talking to each other right now. I'm talking to you and with you. You gotta have some humor. When I first saw this, what do y'all see when you see, what does this look like?
With bread.
With bread. I thought he had like a toothache and they wrapped it with some bandage, right? But then I'm like, no, that's toast. And then I'm thinking, some damn cat owner was like, hold still, Fluffy, and shove this on it for a Pinterest or TikTok moment. Personal stories. I'm gonna have a lot of those for y'all today because if it wasn't for my personal story, I wouldn't have the confidence to stand and do what I'm doing today. And that is what makes all of us who we are. Last month we had Amber up here that talked about branding and what are your breadcrumbs. All of these breadcrumbs led to be who I am now. So when we look back at our breadcrumbs, where does that come from? So I'm from a trailer park in New Orleans, Louisiana. And y'all like, that makes sense now. So, nothing that there's anything wrong with trailer parks because there's a lot of good things that come out of trailer parks, but I was told by numerous people, I'm gonna end up pregnant, a drug addict, no education, living in that trailer park. I was like, no, that's not gonna happen to me. So I knew the only way I was gonna change that was to change my story, was to change my life. And that's when I decided to go into the United States Marine Corps. So I graduated in 1991, I go into the Marine Corps. I graduated top of the Marines, which is called the guide. I guided everyone. So basically, if we were going into battle, I've been the first one to get shot. So I led men, I led women, every race, age, ethnicity, religious belief, every background you can imagine. And when you're having to lead people all across the gamut, you have to learn how to relate to everybody. So when I left in 1991, went into the Marine Corps, went to Okinawa, Japan, my at that time husband and I got stationed here in 1995. Back in 1995, there was a waiting list for apartments. Now we have so many, they're like giving them away for free. But I never thought I'd be in Nashville, Tennessee. I thought two things come from Nashville: Dolly Parton and Travis Tritt. That's all I thought about. Never realizing that not only did I leave one of the hottest cities in the world, New Orleans, now I'm in the new hottest city, so I really believe it's me that makes these cities hot. So wherever y'all want me to go, I'm thinking Cabo is where I want to go next, and it's really hot. So you have to be relatable, y'all are laughing, so it's good humor, we're having a conversation. And that way you don't forget what you want to say. If you're sitting here and you're completely scripted, there's going to be a lot of ums and ahs and all that stuff. Ums are very hard not to say. It's a filler. What you have to train your brain to say instead of is what? And so I was going to talk to you about this. And then, so but is there a difference in when I go If I was saying constantly, someone in this room, because we're all control people, someone's got a little list, one, two. I know it, and I love that, and I love the feedback at the end. It'd be like, you said 72 times. I'm still gonna say These don't count though when I'm purposely saying So the next thing I want to talk to y'all, which is the most important thing, this should have been on a list of how I thought was number one, most important thing. Practice, and then what? Practice. Exactly. Y'all are good girls. So I didn't get to really come in beforehand and do all of this stuff because I'd already been in the room. I knew what the room looked like. I knew that Ruth was going to have my system set up. I knew that the temperature was going to be comfortable. I knew all of those things beforehand. I don't have a microphone. I'm loud enough. I know PowerPoint. So the practicing for me was the last 3 days for 20 minutes. I worked on my PowerPoint every day. I did a presentation in front of my son, and he's like, okay, this is good, this is bad. So the practice is really important. In addition to practice, this is the most important part. Ready? Who's yoga? Anybody yoga? Right? What is she doing right there? What's that? Center, right. So we got our hand on our chest, we got our hand on our stomach. This is our diaphragm area. When we breathe from two places. We breathe from our chest, or we breathe from our diaphragm. We get so much more air when we breathe from our diaphragm. So what we're gonna do right now, for fun, is we're gonna do a quick little breathing exercise. Don't start breathing. Well, don't stop. What I want you to do is when I count to 3, on our third breath, we're gonna take a 3 count in, we're gonna hold it for 3 counts, then we're gonna let it out for 3. So ready? I'm gonna count to 3, then we start breathing. So, ready? 1, 2, 3. Hold it. My Apple Watch tells me that I need to do that probably every hour on the hour. Breathing is one of the most important things you can do to stay healthy. I mean, yeah, we need to eat less carbs and walk and all that kind of crap, but if you breathe, that's gonna help you. Before you go in and talk to anybody, before you talk about anything, you need to stop and breathe. Now, this is the fun one I wanna do. Everybody knows lion's breath, right? So my ones that know lion's breath is gonna be fun. Lion's breath has been practiced for over 3,000 years as yoga has. And I'm sure everyone has seen Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson when he does his dance, right? And then he goes, "Hah!" They call it something else, but in yoga it's lion's breath, because what you're doing is you're exuding all of that negativity out. It's fun to look at. So everyone's gonna look around at everybody else, and we're gonna do lioness's breath, okay? So on a count of 3, we're gonna stick our tongue out, and we're gonna literally exude all of that oxygen out of our body. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah! Doesn't that feel good? So, yeah, sorry if you got garlic breath. So the idea is that you just put out all that negative energy or bad breath into the air, and it's not in you anymore. So before you do anything, networking, sales, a meeting with your boss, your own people, take breaths. If it needs to be a lioness breath, even more. Know the audience. I know all you ladies. I may not know all your names yet, but I will at some point. You gotta know who you're speaking to. When I come here, I can be different. I took my jacket off, I can curse a little bit, I can be me. If I'm going into a contractor's office and we're negotiating, that's when professional Tiffany comes out. If I'm going to a fundraiser group and I'm trying to help get money for someone, that's fundraiser hat Tiffany. So I want y'all to understand there's a difference of being fake. We don't like fake bitches. They can go somewhere else. But we can be chameleons, okay? And it's knowing your audience and knowing how to change your skin just that little bit to who you're talking to. And I love Angela's sitting over here shaking her head at me all the time. I love that affirmation from her because she's like, you're right, girl. So you gotta know the audience. Greet some of the audience personally. Did I shake everyone's hand when y'all came in? Why did I do that? Because I'm greeting y'all, obviously. Two things, I was judging your handshake, because I am doing that in a minute. But I'm making that eye contact with you. And next time I meet you, I'm really hoping, Val, that you're gonna remember my name and you're gonna remember mine, right? Wait, I think I said that backwards. You meant what I knew.
Yes.
So, the whole thing is that what? It's easier to speak to your friends or people you know than a group of strangers. So, I can be up here and I can be casual and I can do that. We wanna talk about a handshake real fast. Whenever I shook your hands, did anyone think it was too firm? Did anybody think it was the limp fish? Did anybody think it was the wedding or the funeral pat? No. I was taught, so here's a backstory, here's my breadcrumb. I was a property and facility manager. I managed over 1 million square feet of commercial real estate for Highwoods Properties, Jones Lang LaSalle, all of these people. So there's not a building I haven't even managed, run, or painted in Nashville, Brentwood somehow. So the biggest thing for me as a Marine coming out and greeting men, you know, they know I'm a Marine, so they come in with the whole, hey. I'm like, it's not a contest, we're not gonna arm wrestle. So we were given a class one time by Margaret Ann Pritchard, who is a etiquette professional around the world. She was trained not by Queen Elizabeth herself, but by like her people. She got this fancy certification. And one of the things she taught us was web to web. So when you're going in, you don't stop till you connect with that other person's web. And then you cup it, and then you shake twice, and then you should be pulling away. That's the way you do it. So right now, everyone turn to somebody, and I want to see a proper handshake.
I like a firm handshake, you know?
I like it. Okay, so what was some of the feel? Did it feel good? I saw like a 4-hand pump over here, like that. Who had the limp fish? I saw an example of the limp fish. You know, the wedding or the funeral pat. No. So whenever a guy is coming at me all right, ladies, reel it back in. I'm gonna do bubbles. So when a guy's coming in to give a handshake to me, I can automatically see what kind of handshake I'm getting. So I really try to lead that handshake. Let them know, web to web, we're firm. Now here's the other thing, where should you always wear your name tag? Right side, why? That's your arm. So when you go to do that handshake, I'm going right there. You know what I mean? It's an automatic thing. Hand, name tag, eyeballs, boom. Okay, that's it. That's how you do it.
Guys' handshakes with women is so awkward.
It's so awkward.
They don't know. It's either squeeze my arm from a hand
Yeah.
to death, or it's like.
Well, and I'm a hugger. Everybody knows I'm a hugger. So then you got the awkward guys that are like, they don't know how to come at me. They're like the side hug. They like grab the butt sometimes. I'm like, hey. I'm like, did I get the job? Cool. So, men, we have to help lead them. I mean, like the mother said in My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Everybody see that movie?
Yes.
Okay, if you haven't, you're too young. I'm talking about. Go watch it. Tula. So the father didn't want Tula to go to computer class. No. The mother brings her in the bedroom and she goes, let me tell you something. Men are the head, but we are the neck. They can't turn their stupid head without the neck. So we are the neck. We have to constantly lead them, okay? Except for our photographer. He led us. Thank you.
Whenever y'all are done, just tell me.
Okay, it'll be right at the end, probably a little bit after
I
1.
didn't mean to interrupt.
Nope, you're perfect. So know your room, arrive up early, walk around the speaking area, practice using the mic and any visual aids. So you gotta know the audience, know the room, know your material. Relax, like seriously. Seriously, just relax. All right, there's a $10 donation.
To NSF,
Yeah.
to our NEF.
Did y'all know that that's a rule? I just like, so, you have to relax. I think that y'all know me, I'm relaxed, this is my environment, like I feed off of this, so it's like really fun for me. When you're addressing the audience, so the first thing you wanna do is, hey, how y'all doing? Glad to be here. It gives you a second to relax, it gives them a second to get to relax and know you, because no matter what, if they're tense and you're tense because everyone's nervous, it feeds off of each other. So when you address the audience, it gives you that time to calm your nerves, take that breath, give them a second. I like to pause, smile, and count to 3. So when I came up here and I put my drink down, that's exactly what I was doing. I was taking those 3 seconds to get in my zone, know that this is going on. And it's okay. Y'all don't know that I'm doing that. I mean, you do now, because I told you. But for the most part, before you say anything, do that. Pause, smile, wave, hey, do what you gotta do. Visualize yourself giving this speech. And I shouldn't have had speech, like I should have had, presentation. Just visualize yourself. Whenever I was practicing this morning, that's what I'm doing. I know this space, so I was in my head visualizing me up here, seeing y'all, going over it in my head, thinking about the environment, thinking what I wanted to project to y'all. So I'm visualizing that. And Michelle, one of the things that she really talks about is we can put all this stuff down and write it down all we want, but once we start visualizing it and it becomes a mantra and we start living that, then your visualization comes to reality. Imagine your voice loud, clear, and confident. Can everybody hear me in the back?
Yes.
Yes. You want that voice to bounce. It goes up on the ceiling and goes down that way. If I was standing here talking like this, who can hear me? Nobody. Maybe the front row, right?
What?
Exactly. Exactly. Imagine the audience clap. You used to imagine the audience naked. You shouldn't do that anymore. But you can imagine them clapping for you, being happy for you. Y'all don't understand, like I'm feeding off the fact that I'm seeing your eyes, thank God, your whole face, not just mask. But I'm seeing your whole face and you're smiling at me and you're giving me that positive energy back. And that makes such a difference. Realize that they want you to succeed, except maybe if you're making a sales pitch. They just want the lowest price, right? So, but really, whoever you're speaking to, they want to know that you're confident in what you're doing. Because really what they are, they're rooting for you. But you gotta be interesting, stimulating, informative, and entertaining. If I was to stand here and be like, so the way that you gain confidence is by making sure that it's not gonna work. You're gonna leave going, I had more confidence than she did, So you gotta be entertaining, which I know I am. Stimulating, interesting, informative. Because I feel like y'all are rooting for me. I'm up here trying to help y'all do better, so I know y'all are rooting for me while I'm up here. Don't apologize. Ever. Anything. I'm sorry. I think it's a big deal. And but did you not see what I just did? I snuck it in. You're supposed to be like, no, see, you did. She was like, you just apologized though. See, I tricked y'all. The whole idea is that when you're standing up here, you're in charge. I go to so many concerts and I watch guitar, drummers, singers. They'll skip a chord or miss a beat or whatever. I'm like, I know that song perfectly, they missed that. But it doesn't matter. They just keep moving on. They're like, hey, this is what I do for a living. You missed my chord, whatever. So don't apologize, keep moving on. The audience isn't really gonna notice really. Like if I get up here and I'm faking it, I'm like, oh, the expression fake it till you make it. We've all heard it, it's a big deal. I'm not a big fake it till you make it person. I believe that you have to visualize it and then you start living reality. My sister is a recovered opiate addict. She's recovered now for 7 years, but she started taking pills when she was 17. She got up to 40 Lortabs a day. Yeah, highly functioning though, it was amazing. But at some point, she wouldn't shower, she wouldn't do the things to take care of herself because I didn't know as an opiate addict that when you shower, the pores get clean and the drugs don't stay in your system as long. So she wouldn't shower or anything. Well, I kept telling her, in order to feel good on the inside, you gotta look good on the outside. And that may be whatever anyone pictures, okay? And she would fight me and fight me and fight me. Well, we finally got her in a program. She failed out of 3. And the number one thing one of the ladies told her at this place was, you're gonna shower, you're gonna fix your hair, you're gonna put a little makeup on. Not that you need to wear makeup, but just to feel good about yourself. So she's recovered now 7 years, got a husband, 2 beautiful babies. She's beautiful and amazing. But a couple of months ago, she said, you know how you used to always be on my ass? I'm like, yeah. And she said, you just all the time, fake it till you make it. Go get a shower, go get your hair done. And now she's like, I tell other people that. If you're feeling bad, just literally go take care of yourself a little bit, and that's gonna help. So if you're standing up here and you're feeling nervous and you're projecting that nervousness, then everyone else is gonna feel it too. So you have to have that fake it till you make it. Bless you. So it's important to not project that, but either way, y'all probably would never know anyway. You just wanna be entertained and educated and get some informative information. Concentrate on the message, not the medium. So Police, who sang a great song, Message in the Bottle, there's a reason for it. Get your attention off your own anxieties. When you're focusing on the message and the audience, you're not thinking about yourself. Everybody knows we got like 2 sides of our brain, right? What are they? Correct, but like what do they do? Right, so one's your like thinker and one's your emotional, right? So a lot of times as women, we're on the emotional side a lot of time. So I had a boss that used to, every time I'd go in, to get yelled at by her. Because apparently I was always killing my tenants. I like to ask them questions all the time. Whenever, being from New Orleans, we say ask. So she said, you gotta quit killing all your tenants. I'm like, why? I kill them with kindness? She goes, no, you ask them stuff all the time. And what she did though, was she made me get from my emotional side, because here she is critiquing me, and I immediately wanted to be like, what? That's how we talk, you know? And she's like, no, not in Nashville, not in this environment. We say ask. I want you to go home and practice ask all night. And I was like, listen, ass, I'll practice my ask later. So it took me from one side of my brain to the other, and it's amazing how as women, we do live on the emotional side more. So it's important that you put it in a perspective where you go from your emotional side to your logical side. And that's part of it. When you're concentrating on the message and what you're wanting to say, you're not gonna be as emotional, you're gonna be more logical. And that's gonna help you calm down, and that's gonna help you have more confidence. So if you're walking into a networking event for your first time, which is very intimidating, and the majority is men, and you're trying to make those approaches, you literally have to be like, that guy right there, I'm going straight for him. And you just go right in, and you almost will probably throw up on his shoes. But the more you do it, the better you will get. You have to force yourself to step outside of what? Your comfort zone. Your comfort zone. I cannot tell you how many committees, memberships, whatever chapters I've been a part of, and I have to go around and tell the same 6 people to quit sitting with each other. This is a networking group. Go network, you know? We had companies like Highwoods and Jones Lang LaSalle and these huge broker firms that they told their people, don't sit at the same, this isn't like a break room situation. Go sit with other people. And not only that, but it felt very cliquey. I quit 2 of them because it was the same people all the time at the same tables. How can we grow and maybe get business if that's not what's happening? So concentrate on your message and not on what you're feeling. Lastly, gain experience. So how do we gain experience? Gain experience, you gain confidence. Practice, 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 right? So the key is learning how to get up here and do a 30-second elevator pitch. Everybody know what a 30-second elevator pitch is? Y'all are all shaking your heads, right? No? 30-second elevator pitch is basically who are you, what do you do, and how are you gonna help them, okay? I got everyone's name on this wheel. Look, she literally went. So, ready? Tanya, T-Y-N-A-I-A.
That's,
Yep,
that's right.
yep. I'm your girlfriend.